together and form associations when there's a need and there's a common need.
The point of us starting, it was an inception. So resources were quite finite, so we were limited in what could actually be done.
But even if he was going to sell his last gown, he was going to make sure that we graduate as medical doctors.
UniGaMSA started around 2004. So it was during our community medicine rotation. That's the second cohort of the medical school, the second group of the medical school. At that time, the medical school had only 4 cohorts. Then we and the nurses, public health, we were all together. So it was during our community medicine rotation around February at Kunjur, when we came together, about 5 of us. It was Dr. Jabang, Dr. Bajan, Dr. Silla, Dr. Lee, 6 of us, sorry, and Dr. Ali Sen and myself. So when we were there, then also there was Siddharth Gomez, 7 of us, Siddharth Gomez. So he's late now. May his soul rest in perfect peace. So 7 of us, when we were at Kunju during our rotation, brainstorming, then this idea came that why not we organize ourselves as an association, knowing that there are other medical student associations in the world, and also knowing that we had a common associations in the country. That was METSA, Medical and Health Student Association. So after that brainstorming, with all the energy in us at that time, we agreed that we would form it. So, but before that, the year before that, I was in the University of the Gambia. I was the vice president of the University of the Gambia Students' Union. I was representing the students' unions at the University Senate. So then I had a lot of ideas on how the university was running, knowing that without organizing ourselves better, there is no way we can thrive as a student body. So then we agreed in Kunju would form it, and then the impetus behind that was the need at that time, because looking at it up to now, the majority of the expenditure it's in the medical school. If you look at the whole university, 3/4 of the expenditure in the university is from the medical school. So the medical school, it's like that. So knowing that, we felt we really have to organize ourselves. So that when we came back, then we continued brainstorm. How do we do it? Then we said, okay, we'll form a constitution, we'll form a steering committee, and then the steering committee will then be mandated to implement, to go with to the formation of UniGaMSA. So then the first group we formed was the Constitutional Setup Committee. The members of that committee at that time, this was in 2004, was Dr. Bajan, Dr. Saad, she is in UK now. Then we have Dr. Makalo, who is a pediatrician now. Then the Gabriel, who is infectious disease expert and a physician, and then myself. So at that time, I was mandated, I was the chair of that committee. So then we were selected to a congress, extraordinary congress that we called everybody. So we were 4 cohorts, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. So the first cohort excluded themselves because they thought that would have brought a division in the medical school, that we would have alienated the nursing and the public health group. So they did not take part. So through the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, we came together. So we were selected to form the constitution. So after getting the constitution ready, we went back to that congress. We presented everything chapter by chapter. Then it was approved. Then we set up another committee again called steering committee. So then this steering committee was given 1-year mandate to register all the members of UniGaMSA, to get a logo for UniGaMSA, do elections, also in a new executive. So there too, I was elected to be the chair of that committee, and the members of that committee were Dr. Baji, and then who is in Australia right now, Dr. Sa, Dr. Gabriel Dao, and then we had Dr. Buli Kamara, who eventually became the third president of UniGaMSA, and then myself. So we constituted this steering committee. Then also within that framework, we also had a mandate to form ad hoc committees as and whenever necessary in the implementation of all our activities. So we ran this thing within 1 year. We registered all the members. I remember my number has been 001, because at that time when we started registration as the chair, then I had that honor to be. And then we then registered all the members of UniGaMSA at that time. Then because I was from the university, as the vice president of the University of the Gambia was responsible for registering all the associations in the university. Was in our constitution. Knowing that quickly, I registered UniGaMSA under the University of the Gambia Student Union. Because of that, the UniGaMSA became the first association in the University of the Gambia. So that registration happened. Then we went around to look for donation, because we needed to implement UniGaMSA. We needed to inaugurate. Inaugurating something new needed money. So we went around. I remember we went to Westfield Clinic. We met Dr. Larry Peters. His soul rest in peace, blessed memory. He was very happy with what we wanted to do. He gave us, I think, about $15,000 check and a small car. Then when we came back, then we gave the car to the medical school, because the medical school, they were struggling with transport. And then we had that. And then for the logo, so the way the committee went with to get the logo, we now brainstormed. We did like a competition. One of the students, Dr. Usman Jaju now, he was Usman Jaju. He is working in the MRC, he's a doctor in the MRC. He's very good with freehand sketch. So he drew the tree, because we wanted a tree with stethoscopes, like how the logo of medicine is. We added tree because we are from this region, and then most of our treatment is from the trees. Our people are fond of using leaves and other things, so we brought tree. That's how the tree came about. Stethoscope, we want to bring the tree, that's traditional treatment, with the conventional treatment together, because that's our origin. So that's how that tree came about. So then we had a tree with stethoscope intertwining like snake, the way the snake is on the oath. So then I took that sketch to Lenahan Society, then met this man, we call it Farms. He looked at it, he was very good in drawing, he drew it and colored it, so I used that, scanned it, then that became our logo. So then we went on, then we went now to the implementation phase, that's elections. So we conducted elections. So we formed another ad hoc committee to help us with the elections. So within these people, like Dr. Bully, we wanted him to be the secretary, or to take part in the association. We all the people we thought at that time could have been very good in the executive, we removed them from the steering committee. We incorporated other people, we formed other ad hoc groups, welfare groups to help us do the elections, also implement the integration. So we formed the IEC, then I was the chair. As the chair of the steering committee, automatically I was the chair of the IEC. So then we conducted the elections. After conducting the elections, Dr. Jabang was unopposed. He became the president. Then Dr. Silla became the secretary. Dr. Bajan became the PRO, and then Dr. Buli Kamara became the assistant secretary, and then we have Dr. Makalo, and then all in the executive. So within the executive, all the 3 cohorts were all part of the executive. But while all this thing was going on, the first cohort still abstained from taking part in UniGaMSA. The reason being, they felt they were the first group, they were one of the main pioneers. So they felt they felt that forming UniGaMSA would bring divisions in the University of the Gambia Medical School, in that the nurses probably would be sidelined. So because of that, they said no, they will be part. So they were never part of UniGaMSA until today. So then we continued with our struggle to form UniGaMSA, because we believed at that time, but the only way we can progress as a medical school, as a medical student, is to take up all the responsibilities, everything by the bull, and make sure it happens. So, and then a lot of feathers were scratched while we are doing that, but those things you can't avoid. Then we did the elections, done with the elections, and then the next thing we did after the election was to inaugurate UniGaMSA. Like, you know, when you have a child, you need to, you know, name a child, and then you need to make a naming ceremony, christening ceremony. So that's what we did. We inaugurated UniGaMSA to tell everybody UniGaMSA is here, is formed. It's a legitimate association within the University of the Gambia framework. It's here to support medical students, to make sure medical students' welfare are looking after, to make sure the medical school at that time struggling with accreditation is accredited, and so that the medical school can stand against any medical school in the world. So that we, the product who are there, we will not be half-baked. We will not be doctors who are under-trained. We want to be well-trained doctors to match any doctor, any medical student in the world. These were the things, you know, that filled our head at that time. You know, so at a point, in fact, we went ahead to meet the medical school authority on accreditation. At a point, something happened that looked like a strike. A strike took place in the medical school, all because of that UniGaMSA. And then but because of that, the University of the Gambia sat up, and then a lot of things happened. They brought material, they brought lecturers, you know, because of all those things we did. And then we organized the inaugurations. Then at the inauguration ceremony, I chaired as the chair of the steering committee. Then they swore the executive, Dr. Jabang and his team. Then they came on board and they invited Dr. Samate. I remember he was a doctor in the hospital. He was Dr. Samate. He was at that time, I think, a medical officer. And then we invited other doctors, including Dr. Jan. They all came. We invited a lot of people. So it was a well-attended ceremony at the School of Nursing at their hall. So we organized. It was very successful. Then we handed over, at that time we have also opened a bank account. We handed over about $30,000. And then in our account, we had an album, about 3 albums. We handed over the constitution, the logo, and then those were some of the things we handed over. And I remember Dr. Jabang making a statement saying that we had given them an escape velocity. That's the only thing they need to do now is to sit up and continue the work that had already begun. So this is what happened at that time. But after the first executive, I became dormant. I withdrew from most of the activities to give them chance to do their thing, so that I will not be influencing their activities.